Welcome to commodityanalysis.co.uk on Thursday, the 30th of May, and something's changed. We're looking at the E-mini S&P, and there's a great deal of concern. And this is the weekly chart. This is going back till April '08, and that's the all-time low. We're using that. There's a number of pitchforks drawn on here. Some of them are Andrews pitchforks, others are first and last FNLs, but we've drawn them for a number of reasons. Not only do they obviously show what everyone else knows about Andrews, that they offer support and resistance along their lines, but more importantly, their reaction lines. And you can see various reaction lines. You can see these forks. There's the main ones I've drawn in bold. The other ones you can see are much thinner, and all they're doing is expressing the relationship between this pivot, this pivot, this pivot. And so I want to express multiple important pivots, the relationships between them. So let's just have a look at these reaction lines and see. Here they are. They're all drawn automatically using the MT4 indicator. Refresh and it pops back. You can see this sort of, whoops, there we go. Let's just refresh that. There we go, it goes back. And these have a profound effect on price. And let's go back to where we are now. Here we are, the end of May 2013. We've had an unprecedented rally, but something's changed over the last, something I've noticed this week really, since I think it was Monday, and that failed rally. We've got this reaction line here. Okay, off fork, which I've donated an A to. And this line, again, drawn by automatic indicator once the pitchfork's been drawn. I've gone over it with you can see this here. Just so, let's do it bang on there. And let's just go down and have a look. And the rest of this looks like a bird's nest. Will now become clearer. There is our line. Okay, there's the one I just drew over it. And let's just have a look. Here, we went through and fell away. We found support on this median line, which is, if we look, I'll go to the daily again just to show you, this fork here, using this pivot, and this pivot, drawn in this sort of mauve colour, red, mauve. Now, we've been forced down onto this line. The second attempt failed. Let's go down to the hourly. Now we've got that's a very, very, very sharp fork. But look, are we breaking out here? We've found support along this median line. And all this line here is a trend line that I've drawn over it. So we go to the 240 minute. You can see there, I've drawn a thick line over it. And here we go. Now, we seem to have broken through. Look at this morning. We're rallying sharply now. Price does not want to go lower. It appears, but I believe price may well go lower. I want to show you this fork now as I zoom out to the 240 minute. This blue fork, which I've drawn the BC line on, this one here using this pivot, and this pivot. And this lies around 1624, 1625, somewhere there. And this, I mean, are we going to head back up to this and go through, or are we going lower? This certainly looks like a breakout, but we've revisited this line many times since yesterday morning, when we had after the sell-off overnight and early on Tuesday afternoon. So look, we're now bursting through this median line. I mean, this offered, let's go down to the 5 minute and let me just show you this. Look, one touch, two touch about 15-20 minutes ago, down, back onto this line, okay, and then up again. You can draw these forks for yourself. Now, I guess we're probably heading for this here, or we can play around. I mean, look, the bottom line is that doesn't look very healthy. That's why I've chosen that pivot. And you can see price has held along the lower median line parallel. But I don't think we're out of the woods yet. If we hold today, we may see a break up towards 1670 again, and to test this line. Remember, we are still making, if we go out to the, say we go to the 240 minute, we are still making higher lows, okay? But we have now made a significant lower high. So how this is going to play out over the next few days, today and tomorrow, really, this week, is what I'm interested in. Now let's go to a more complicated picture. And if we go to the, let's go to the 15 minute. Now you can see some of these reaction lines. This is an extremely more complicated chart using reaction lines, and the solid ones are just ones I've drawn in in a different time frame. So if I go to the 1 hour, I've tried to go across some of this, and it looks very. These are used in a low time frame. But let's have a look here where we are. Again, let's just make that a array so you guys. There we go. Price seems to be breaking out. Whether it continues to break out, we'll have to see. There's a huge gap down here from my broker feed, but that doesn't mean anything. This is an important reaction line which also runs along the same axis as this. Now we may get a retouch on here, we may get a fail, but it's definitely the first significant bar I think we've had today. We'll have to see where we go from here. Now have a look at this one here. This little reaction line downsloping in red is, let's get rid of it, you can see it underneath. There it is, end of May, EOMA reaction line, which comes from a fork, a recent fork, and there I can't move it, so that's still to be encountered. Now there'll be another video this afternoon and we'll see if we're going to hold at this critical support. If we fall through, remember, if we fall through here, we're going down to this line here, which is around 1624. There's going to be a fight and a tussle. Alternatively, you may just say, well, we're just making a series of ascending tops here and we're going to break out. A failure here, and if we go lower, will confirm to me that we are now in a new phase of this market, and this beautiful, easy, I mean any fool could make money in this. This is more difficult. Now it remains to be seen how we look at this market over the next couple of days. We may well revisit this. We could fail again at this reaction line here, and just remember these reaction lines, if we refresh the chart, back they go. This is just the one I drew over it, and this expresses its location in another time frame. Because if we go to the, there we are, right? So if we just show you this, let's do it in a slightly bolder color. There it is. Look at that, beautiful. And the one before, and you know it works because you can see it's bouncing off that line there. Right? You can see the support and resistance offered. Anyway, we'll be back later on. Have a good trading day. Bye now.